Hey everybody, welcome to Monday Marriage Moment. I'm Jason. It's my wife Renee. We've been married for 32 years this August. It's a long time. Neither of us is a marriage counselor. We are not marriage experts, but we do love marriage and want to invest in yours. So thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We would love it if you would subscribe to our channel, like the video. That really helps us. And any comments you put are super helpful too. This is the book we've been looking at called The Four Seasons of Marriage. We've looked at winter and spring and summer, and so there's one left. And before we talk about it, I was just thinking this morning that tomorrow morning, which is Tuesday, I'm going to get up super early and drive to Colorado and do a wedding ceremony for a young lady who grew up in our church and has found this amazing young man, and they're going to get married. And for the last several months we've been doing over Zoom premarital counseling. They've been going through some books and stuff. And as I was preparing their service, it just struck me as just so funny that here's this young couple with nothing but a future in front of them, and they have no idea what's headed their way in the next 5, 10, 15, 30, 40 years of their marriage. They have no idea how good it's going to be, and they have no idea how difficult it's going to be, because marriage is both of those things. And specifically, as we talk about this season, fall, there are some things we need to be aware of and things we need to look out for. So let's talk a little bit about this last season, fall. What do we need to know?
Okay. So if we think of the actual fall, the leaves on the trees start to change, and they're actually really beautiful.
Yeah.
But when we teach about this in science in elementary school, we're teaching that the leaves are actually dying. And it's a change. There is a change that's happening. And it's funny that it doesn't all happen overnight, and all the leaves don't fall off all at once. It's kind of a slow process and kind of a slow fade, which is very, it's very much like this season in a marriage. It's a warning that there is change happening. It may all seem good on the outside. Everything seems okay. But there's this change happening. Maybe there's some things are deteriorating. We're not communicating. We've stopped working on some of the things that we were working on to stay in spring and summer. And things are starting to happen that are causing us to drift apart. So it's like this warning light to do something, or you're going to slip into winter.
There are some specific emotions, and probably ladies are more in tune with this than the men, but there are some specific things that you can be looking for that kind of are telltale signs of being in a season of fall. What are those emotions?
So I think one of the biggest things is feeling insecure about your marriage. We were just talking about how we could just eliminate that from our marriage.
I think the word that he used in this book was uncertainty, that you don't know where the marriage is going to end up. And my thought was that you can eliminate a lot of that insecurity and a lot of that uncertainty if you eliminate from the very beginning divorce as an option. If right now today you just said, no matter what comes our way, divorce is not an option. We're not going to split this family apart. We're going to work it out no matter what happens. And when you eliminate divorce as an option, it eliminates a whole lot of that insecurity during fall when you go, I don't know where this is going. Well, you do know where it's going. It's either going to go to winter or you're going to take it to spring, but it's not going to end up dead because you are committed, both of you are committed to, we don't go down that road. It's a road we can't travel.
Yeah.
So you can immediately today eliminate a lot of insecurity and uncertainty just by refusing to let divorce be an option.
And I think God would bless that.
100%.
He would help you get to that point.
Jesus said that God hates divorce, and it's not that he hates the people that get divorced. He doesn't actually hate the divorce. What he hates is what it does to people.
Yeah.
The pain and the sorrow and the death of something that he put together. He hates the effects of it. And so I definitely think when you eliminate it as an option, God would bless that.
Yeah, for sure. So some more emotions from this are sadness, feeling overwhelmed. Maybe you're rejecting each other in some way. Both of you are feeling unappreciated. I think that's something really common when you get into really busy seasons of your life, raising kids, and just there's a lot of busyness, or maybe there's a crisis, and you forget that you need to show appreciation to each other.
Yeah, it's good.
So, our actions, he always gives the emotions and the actions and the attitudes of every season. And so he says there are some actions that lead us into fall in our marriage, and then there are some actions we can take that help us lead into back to spring and summer.
Okay, so the action that leads us into fall is not necessarily an action,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's just inaction.
It's no action.
It's to do nothing. It's the word he used is neglect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think when you get tired of working on your marriage, and when it would be easy to just stop doing things, stop taking action, and neglect each other. Kind of like you're basically living separate lives. I think this happens a lot when there's an empty nest, when the kids leave, and you've not taken time to really give to your spouse leading up to that, and you find yourselves living these two separate lives, but you're still living in the same home.
Wow.
You would figure out you're in a fall.
And I think it's important to remember that that's the default position that most marriages sit in, because it takes no effort to do nothing.
Right.
You just have to do nothing to do nothing.
Yeah.
And so by default, if you're not working on your marriage, investing in your marriage, you are by definition neglecting your marriage. And so it's something to consider that, maybe you should analyze your marriage every week or every month and say, what have we done to improve our marriage this week, or what have we done to invest in our marriage this month? Just so you're aware whether you are working on it or neglecting it.
Yeah.
So if you neglect it, it's going to drift.
And maybe you need to remind yourself, or both of you need to help each other remember that this marriage is our most valuable possession. If we forget that mindset, we forget that that's actually true, it would be really easy to just stop.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember too, if you're watching this video, you are making an investment. If the two of you, or even if it's just one of you trying to make things better, if you've taken the time to turn on YouTube and find a marriage video, you are investing in your marriage, and that's a great, great start. So keep that up.
Yeah.
Some other attitudes.
So he says about, we're still in the action part before we get to the attitudes,
Gotcha.
but when you realize that you're in a fall season, you have a choice to make, and that is to take positive actions to lead back to that spring and summer, or you or both of you can choose to make destructive choices that are going to lead to a deep winter, and it could lead to death of your marriage. I think that's where divorce comes in, is when you let it get to that point. And so you have a choice with your actions. And he did say it's interesting that to get back to spring and summer, it's going to take both of you giving work, but one of you
Go ahead.
one of you can actually push the marriage into winter. And
one person's actions can really make things unstable, but it takes both of you to get them back together.
And he said some of the destructive things, just to be aware that if you fail to seek resolution for issues that come up, you're making a destructive choice for your marriage, and especially infidelity. If there's been an affair, and maybe one of you or both of you feel like you want to get counseling and you want to try to make it work, if one of you decides, I don't want help, and I'm not remorseful, you can push. That's a destructive choice. That's going to push the marriage into a winter or death. So the attitudes that he gave were just that you had great concern for the marriage. You can tell something is wrong. Both of us are not happy. Something's off. We're not connecting. We're not spending enough time together. We're not appreciating each other, and we're concerned because we see this change. And that thing you said, you're uncertain about the future. So those are the attitudes.
Well, that's the fall season of marriage, and it might look okay on the outside, but things are dying. And you've got to take action. And that was really my main point to this couple that's getting married is, in my little message to them, I say no marriage has ever accidentally ended up great. It just does not happen. You have to work hard. Great marriages are built on hard work and sacrifice and humility and unconditional love and serving each other, and that's all work. It takes a lot of work to do it. So I would encourage you, get on your mobile cellular device and purchase this book because it's a great resource to have. There are also some activities that you can go through that would really help you identify and just kind of navigate the seasons as you go through them as a couple. Any other thoughts?
I think that's it.
Okay, thank you for joining us. We don't know what we're going to do for the next few weeks. We don't have a book or anything like that. So please, if you have an idea or a question or something, shoot us a comment and we will read those and figure out what's next. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.